Well. Firstly, good morning, everybody. Idris, Elba, make some noise right here in this room. Come on.
How are you? I'm really good, Chris. How are you?
Oh, mate, amazing. So glad to have you here in Abu Dhabi, Investopia. First of all, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I want to say thank you to His Excellency and Investopia for having me here. I know I'm not your usual guest in the last 3 years, but I'm excited to be here.
But I think this is fabulous. I think having you here is an honor to sort of understand different avenues when it comes to investment, apart from everything else that you do, which we're going to be talking about. I do want to talk about the movies and the TV and the DJing and all that, but I found that you've been spending a lot of time here in the UAE, obviously here in Abu Dhabi as well. Are you liking your time here?
I like the area. I like the region. I always have a lot of fun. I sleep really well in this part of the world. I don't know what the reason is. I just find it a very progressive, vibe. People have futuristic views on stuff, and that's exciting to me. I'm a storyteller, and I'm always thinking about the future and what's next. So this part of the world is really exciting.
Well, when we talk about creative economy, obviously, people in the room, they know what this is all about, but what was your journey, Idris? Like, why are you feeling so passionate? And you and I were just chatting backstage.
Yeah.
This is not for you just to come up on this stage and talk because you have to. You truly have a passion for what we're here to talk about today.
I do have a passion for it. I mean, look, being in the entertainment business has afforded me an incredible life, okay? Afforded my family an incredible life. I've gotten to travel the world, which is, something that a lot of people overlook, but I get to see the world and visit different cultures. I get to be celebrated as a performer, which is an incredible opportunity for me. And that celebration also allows me to sit on a stage and talk about my industry, So I'm incredibly passionate about it. But also, as we're in Investopia, there is an incredible opportunity for growth in this industry. I've been working for maybe 30 years, and I still feel I have so much more to grow, different avenues to pursue. And there are not that many industries that allow that diversification in that way.
Sure.
You might grow within your field, but in this industry, there are fields upon fields to grow into.
Do you believe that there is an opportunity here, obviously with Investopia, but for the people of the UAE to get involved in this more heavily as well?
100%, yeah. I think there are various ways to look at it. When we think about, America, right, in the sort of early 20th century, the creative industries helped form its economy, its cultures, its values. It helped sort of really give the world, this is what America could be, This is who we are, and they used the creative economy. So Hollywood was born, and as well as telling this story about America, it told an opportunity for industrialization, for work opportunities, again, culture. And I think the UAE, the African continent as well, because I'm quite passionate about that, but there is a symmetry, can benefit from reframing, if you like, the world's view on this region, on Africa, by using the creative economy while creating opportunities for that region.
Pretty much like a domino effect. You start and it adds on. You were talking about Africa. You've got your passion, obviously, for Sierra Leone, but Ghana and Nigeria. Yep. You're doing some work around there as well?
So, the West Africa has a real rich creative industry. Nigeria especially sort of a leader in film, right? And, my journey in sort of understanding what is the opportunity from an economic perspective is about understanding what's there. So I went to Ghana, where I met with the creative industry there. I met with the vice president in Ghana as well, who is really keen to understand the intersection between policy and the economy of creative arts. I met with the sort of creative community of Sierra Leone, which is a baby industry, They, compared to, say, Nigeria, Sierra Leone has a very small industry, but I'm half Sierra Leonean, half Ghanaian, so I wanted to see and understand the community. And of course, I went to Nigeria, which, it's coined Nollywood. Some love that phrase, some hate it.
Some don't, yeah.
But it's a very rich industry. There's a lot of experience there. But they've also hit a sort of cap, if you like, in terms of penetrating the world with their stories. So I really was keen to understand from this particular region, what are the challenges, what are the dreams, what are the things that we're facing as an industry, and that learning is helping me sort of, construct what I think the opportunity for investment. I went there before coming here so I could have this conversation here.
And since coming there and now landing here, are you saying that the opportunities are getting bigger? And are the opportunities easier to close? Do you feel like if you were trying to have this conversation 10 years ago, it would have been a harder explanation?
I mean, look, I think, there's no doubt that people were seeing some incredible growth opportunities in the film industry. The film industry has one of these sort of win-win, lose-lose opportunities, okay? You could lose your money very quickly, but you could quadruple your money very quickly.
Sure.
If you look at, for example, what Mattel, the toy industry, the toy company, toys have been taking a steady decline with the advent of, tech, right? But toys, Mattel decided to partner with the creative industries, tell the story of Barbie in a film. The development process was about 3 or 4 years, and within a year, if not more, they created 1.5 billion worth of generation, and it continues.
Yeah.
Not to mention that they have other IP that they can generate some. So when you look at that, to me, yes, I think it's becoming not easier, but it's more attractive for investors to look at the industry and say, how can we do that?
And it's not just about making a film. We were mentioning this before, where it's not just the investing in a film is all it is. It is the ripple effect of what happens, the theaters, the cafes, the restaurants, the toys.
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about there from the investment side of things?
Yeah, the entire ecosystem is huge. When we think about the entertainment industry, this very room, this stage, these lights, this screen is part of that investment opportunity, And when you have an emerging economy where the stories need to be told, Investopia is 3 years old, and it's a very popular forum for this part of the world now. But 3 years ago, it wasn't. And the investment into the storytelling is what's made it what it is. So for me, when you think about the creative industries, don't think of it as just about actors and singers. Think about all the layers that come with that, from the show business side, which is about the legalese, the insurance opportunities, all of those. And then on the other side is everything from the fashion to the equipment.
It's harder. Well, it's interesting with the word creative economy. Creatives are sometimes not well advanced in understanding the economy side of things. We're creatives. Yeah. We're good behind a microphone.
For a reason.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're good in front of a camera, but from the investing side of things, sometimes it's harder. So this connection that you've done, because you've nailed the creative side. Round of applause for the career of Idris Elba right here as well, because from TV to movies to singing to a DJ, you obviously have that real creative side of you, but you've now found the balance to try to be the interpreter between the creative and the investment side.
Well, look, part of that journey is because, I have a very unusual demographic, okay? I speak to very young people.
You do.
All the way to very advanced people. And that demographic, when I'm talking about futurists, I'm talking about the young people. I'm talking about how do I make my journey aspirational for a young person. And doing that is about articulating the benefits of it. It's not just, look at me, I'm famous. It's kind of, this is a career. I've learned X amount of skill sets outside of my creativity, and young people can do the same. I keep talking about Africa a lot in this space because I think, when you consider in China, there is like maybe 1.4 billion people, okay, over a certain landmass. And over Christmas, I think they did $1.1 billion in revenue in box office alone. okay? Now, there isn't 1 billion cinemas in China, okay? It's just explaining to you that that economy is really watching these movies, okay? In Africa, there's 1.4 billion people. There's maybe 4,000 cinemas, okay? And that's you're saying to yourself, well, there must be something wrong there. It's just there's no investment in the industry in the same way. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but I think it's part of my obligation as a proud African, a proud Englishman, to share what I've learned.
I love that. I think that's great. Round of applause there. I think that's really important. Sharing your knowledge of what you've learned. We spoke about it again. I don't want to talk about too much that we just spoke backstage, but creating a radio station for the youth of some of the kids that are in England right now, to give them a platform to be able to tell their story.
Yeah.
That's something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Is that because you want to pave the way for maybe someone that didn't have it, or someone that doesn't have it?
Totally. I mean, my parents moved from Sierra Leone and Ghana to England in the late 60s. I was born in 72. And, by the time I was 18, I could have gone so many different ways, My dad worked in a factory for 25 years, making car parts for Fords. My mum worked as a clerical assistant. I wasn't grandfathered into a career. I chose acting because my drama teacher said, "You're good at it." And that intervention is incredible for me, So I feel like it's part of my obligation to intervene when I see young people, especially young people that are misguided, to say, hey, here's an opportunity for you. And so in England, for example, right now there's an epidemic of young people using knives to hurt each other, all right? The reason they're doing that, they're in these micro communities that are poor, that have misguidance, bad education, whatever you want to call it, all right? But these kids need an intervention. So this is where, some of my work is about doing that.
Getting in. Talking about your come up recently at the SAG Awards, you told the story. I don't know if you guys have heard this one, but the Robert De Niro story. Now that's 100% true.
True story.
Can you just replay a little bit of what happened?
Yeah.
You were 19 years old?
I was 19 years old. I was fascinated with New York because New York had all the great schools from all the great actors, the method theory, right? So Robert De Niro was one of my biggest, actors.
Sure, yeah.
He had this production company called the Tribeca Films in Tribeca, Lower East Side. He was making a film called The Bronx Tale, okay? And they had open auditions the week prior that I was there. So I found out his office. I rang on the doorbell. This lady opened the door. I put on my best English accent. I said, I'm here for the Bronx Tale audition. She said, oh, I'm really sorry, but that was last week. I said, no. I'm from England. I have an appointment. Oh, you have an appointment with Mr. De Niro? I'm like, yes, I do. And she said, oh, come on in. So the security guard was looking at me kind of funny. So she said, I'm just going to call his office and tell. So she called the office and she was nodding. And I was sitting there going, oh no, this is going to be bad. And she said, okay, go on up. I was like, okay, thank you very much. I went into the elevator. She let me up to the 8th floor. I was looking in the mirror. I did my Bob De Niro impression.
It's not bad.
I'm going to do it. It's not bad, right?
It's good, yeah.
Anyway, I get to the 8th floor and this woman's standing there. She said, okay, who are you? I said, I'm Idris. She said, you don't have an appointment, do you? I said, no, ma'am. She said, okay. Go, give me your headshot and get out of here, okay? And as I was going down, I got kicked out. The security guard said to me, yo, your English accent is terrible. I was like, okay, buddy.
And just walked out. But that shows your drive and your passion at the age of 19. You wanted to get there.
I wanted to get there,
and you eventually, and you got there, and you're here.
Absolutely.
And why the DJing side of things? Is this something that you've always been passionate about? If Idris is become, one of the, if you try to book Idris, you can't because you are highly sought after now in the DJ scene.
Yeah.
Where do you find the time to do that?
DJing was first. My uncle was a DJ. I DJed with him. We did weddings and stuff like that. And I was used to sort of working the crowd. I love doing it. It's a balancer for me. You know, it keeps my feet on the ground.
What is the hardest challenge if we go back now to the creative economy? What's one of the biggest challenges that you feel it has?
One of the biggest challenges is, you know, right now, policy in some regions do not support what the creative industries need, okay? Policy around IP, around, you know, the connective tissue of incentivizing filmmakers to make money, okay? Because it's a lost profit business, you know, if there was help and understanding in policy to incentivize the economy, you know, mitigating the risk, of course, but that would help move the needle, especially in Africa where, you know, there is very little attention paid to the policies that make it easier for creatives to create. Okay, that's a really important component. It's something that I think, you know, in Ghana, they've been paying very close attention to what certain film economies are doing. So here in Abu Dhabi, I think there is a fantastic policy around incentivizing film, which works in a sort of rebate system, and it works. You know, film companies come here, take advantage, but what also happens is the effect of, you know, local people get employed,
of course,
expertise spreads, and it's a fantastic calling card for the rest of the world.
Yeah, I mean, we see it here in Abu Dhabi many times. A lot of the big movies that are being filmed here. Dune 2, Part 2 was just filmed here and launched. So, you know, more of that. This is why Investopia is here, to get the word out. People in the room doing what you do. You understand it better than a lot of us do. So spreading that word is so important. Congratulations on Hijack, your series on Apple, Season 1. Such a success.
Thank you.
Announced there is a Season 2.
There is a Season 2.
Congratulations.
What can I say about it?
Are you allowed to say anything about it?
Nothing.
Give us a little bit of something that can go viral.
Something that can go viral? It's not going to be on a plane. Okay.
Okay, all right. So we're going to move on from that. But again, congratulations on that. Are we doing anything else that we should know about? Is there anything else that you're working on that you can share with us?
I mean, you know, obviously, when I think about the economy that I'm trying to promote as a business, you know, I've been working closely in Sierra Leone with the Sierra Leone government. There's a beautiful landmass called Shebro Island. And essentially, it is my utopia, okay? I get this opportunity to work with the government to build this landmass into what I think could be the perfect incubator for ideas, for economies, the intersection of the creativity. So, of course, I want to build a film studio there, but I want to build a world-class education sector, not just in film and technology, but technology as well and innovation. The land is about the size of Singapore, so there's this incredible opportunity for ag tech to have an opportunity there. And the reason why it's important as part of the creative, because I'm going to make movies about this utopia. You know, we all saw Black Panther, we all saw what the imagination did when we saw Wakanda.
Of course.
Okay? I'm not making Wakanda, don't get that twisted, but the actual opportunity to create this, you know, smart city allows all of the things that I'm talking about to sort of intersect here. So that's what I'm working for. I was at Hub 71 yesterday talking about that, talking specifically to investors about that. But in terms of the film industry, I just directed a film called Above the Below, which I'm editing now, and I'm really excited as a director moving forward.
You said you like it here because you sleep, but I don't think it's got to do where you are. I think you just do a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot that you do, Idris.
I do a lot, yeah. I think, you know, we're on this world for a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. We have a brain that has quantum level power, but we just don't use it. I think that if we're smart about how we feed off each other's energies, we can do more. This is what this forum is about, is doing a little bit more. I'm hopefully going to make connections with certain people here that are interested in the creative space, want to learn more. The opportunity is huge. There's a really fantastic report that UNESCO did in 2021 that sort of looks at Africa specifically, about the economy there and what the opportunity is. But it really does break down the different avenues that investors can look at and, you know, get a reasonable, good return over a period of time.
I'll leave it on this note. Is there any chance of you being in a movie called 007? Because your name keeps getting thrown around.
No.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, he's an absolute star. You're amazing on screen and off screen. Thank you for being here at Investopia. Once again, the one, the only, Idris Elba. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I knew he was going to ask me that question.